Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Hanna and I'm the owner of the Virgo House Holistic Success Coaching. The mission of Virgo House is to create a community for connection and growth for women seeking a more holistic approach to their ambitious lifestyle. Here on YouTube every month, I'm going to be sharing expert interviews to give you the best life and business advice possible. Welcome to my third episode on the Virgo House channel. Today we are going to be talking with Lauren Lindley of Lindley Wall Kits, and we are going to be discussing being an entrepreneur and having beautiful spaces. So welcome, Lauren.
So my business is called Lindley Wall Kits. It's an Etsy shop where I sell photo collages. I call them wall kits. So it's basically a pack of color coordinated photos. They're all taken or designed by me. They range between 25 photos and 110 photos. And each kit has a different name and they all have a different color theme and aesthetic in mind.
And I have one behind me. You actually did a custom graphic for me. I'm super excited to be able to showcase it today. It's so gorgeous. I love it.
I'm so glad. Yeah, so that's a custom kit. I do have people who come around and ask for different color themes or aesthetic themes that they want. It gives me like an extra chance to be creative, which I do love a lot.
So why don't you go ahead and give everyone an idea. How did you get started and what made you want to get started in this business?
I started in January of 2019, but I was living in Nashville at the time and I was studying music and I kind of was just burnt out, but I'm somebody who's very creative and I need creative ventures or outlets. So I was like, you know what, let me put music on hold as much as I can beside it being my classes and focus on something else. And I've always been into photography, but I never really took it too crazy, like seriously, but I always enjoyed taking photos, editing photos, aesthetics of photos. So I had seen people online, people who were selling them, influencers and artists who sold these packs of photos and they were just so expensive. And I was in college at the time and I had no money. So I wanted these things at a way lower price. So I was like, you know what, I can do it. It took me about like 3 months to just get started with it. I finally in January posted one on Etsy. I just printed it out on my home computer, posted it. I was just like, I'm gonna go for it. And then like 24 hours later, somebody bought it. And I didn't even have the product. I was like, oh no. So gratefully that made me kind of get my stuff together and kind of figure out how it was all gonna start working. And since then, they've definitely gotten a little bit more expensive, but I keep them between about $10 and $80 so that people, I mean, in all circumstances, all situations can still afford it and still have these like cool collages in their rooms.
That is such a cool story, really finding a gap in the industry and saying, wow, I can really serve a community with something that's really beautiful and something that's really affordable. And what I love that I really think entrepreneurs consider a lot of different parts of their life as important. And it's not all about one job. I think that's what really helps with being so creative, really knowing how to understand different parts of life and what makes us happy as people. So what I want to hear from you is I really want to understand from you, what does it mean to you to have a beautiful space?
I think most importantly, it means expression. And I think that's different for everybody. I think there's a lot of people who are super colorful, and then you go to their house or their room and it's all white and minimal. And I think that expresses a certain part of who they are at their core. You know, they need peace to be so creative, or they need creative energy in their space to be somebody who can communicate and work in the creative field. My bedroom can be so crazy colorful, but like the kitchen, I need nothing to be there. Do you know what I mean? So it's like your space changes for each person based on what kind of energy they need for that and how that space will affect their day and where they'll take care of themselves and how they'll take care of themselves in that space.
It's so interconnected with everything else, right? Like if you have beautiful surroundings, like you mentioned, like you need that energy and that input for other parts of your life. Like if you need it to really be able to relax or to be able to be productive at work, like you just need something aesthetic sometimes to be able to do all the other things that are important in your life.
100%. Yeah.
When we're talking about beautiful spaces, you've obviously launched your own business. It's starting to see some really good success. So talk to me a little bit about how you use your beautiful space to be a successful entrepreneur.
I think, like I said, it changes for each space in your home or in your apartment or in your college dorm room. My bedroom is somewhere where I am so creative and things have to be organized for me to be able to get up. Most importantly, where I spend most of my time, where my desk is, my office is, I keep my all my wall kits in the same space. It's all in my bedroom. I have thankfully a big enough room. So that to me, it's about individuality and also creating a space where I can be productive. So I need it to be clean all the time, but I need it to be cool. I like to thrift. So I have tons of funky thrifting things. I have secondhand things. I have to keep my closet, obviously, color coordinated. My room and my space functions for that. Everything's ready for me to have this schedule that I can work with. Getting up, I take my dog for a walk in the morning. I listen to a podcast. It's always at a different time. I'm very Enneagram type 7, which means I can't really have a schedule at all or else I'll go crazy.
That's so funny. So I'm a type 8. That's so different. We're totally apart on that one. So that's fascinating to me.
Yeah. So I always had read things. You have to have a morning routine and you have to schedule your morning and your day hour by hour, and that would like drive me crazy. And then I did all this Enneagram research and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't have a schedule because it won't work for me that way. My space definitely reflects that. I mean, it's organized to a point that I can still be creative and I can still have all my business stuff in one corner, and then I have paint and watercolor that's like strewn across the room that I can pick up if I need a second. It's important to know what kind of person you are and how your space kind of fits into that. Overall, I think it's about finding happiness, and for me to have like a crazy wall kit all over my room, like that makes me happy to see these colors and plants everywhere that keep me happy and clean the air, and it's about finding these things that you can incorporate into all of your spaces that helps your life kind of function in a more meaningful way.
Yeah, I love that you said individuality. And that was what for me was so cool about getting a custom kit from you. Because I know I gave you like a couple of pieces of information about me of things that like really jumped out as like, wow, I feel like if I saw that every day, it would really reflect who I am. And now having that in my space, I can really see how looking at this every day is going to kind of really ground me and kind of remind me of the things that do make me happy and kind of keep me creative. With launching an Etsy shop kind of on a whim, and then selling a product without even having the product yet is so cool. And you just took this big risk and you were able to figure out how to make the business work almost after the fact, right? Like you saw this need, you filled it, and then you just ran with it. And that's so brave. And so what is the most valuable lesson you learned in business going through that process?
So I always have 3 lessons that I share when I get this question, because I think these 3 kind of, they shaped me as a business owner, and these are lessons that I had to learn some of them after I started the business. It wasn't things that I knew before. I think I do kind of share that through that story, is just go for it. Like I would have had no idea that a business would have been successful like this if I hadn't just done it. I mean, there was no way to possibly know, and it could have not been successful, and then I would have learned. Like I said, I printed it out, used the photo, and it was from my computer printer, and it had like little streaks on it, to just go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can adjust, you can transform, you can shift how things work, but you should just go for it. The second thing I learned after starting a business was to listen to your customers. So like I said, your product doesn't have to be perfect and to just do it, but your customers will tell you how to fix it. After they start buying things and after they start feeling your product, putting up your product, using your service, like they will say the things that need to adjust, and you can adjust from there. As long as you don't lose your focus, your passion, the thing about your service or product that makes it true to you. And then the third thing I learned is to really not share what you know, and to kind of keep your hustle to yourself until it's out in the world. You really don't need validation from people. Sometimes people's suggestions can be not totally genuine, and I found that a lot in this business, which has led me to just kind of blaze through it with like I'm doing what I want, I'm doing what I love sort of attitude. And I think not needing validation or suggestions from other people will just keep you on the right path and keeps you grounded to what you were originally setting out to do. And then it also keeps you from any hurt or any comments that you don't really want to have. To just round them up, the first lesson was to just go for it, to just follow your passion, see if it works out, see if it doesn't. There's no harm in trying. The second one is to listen to your customers. And the third one is to keep your hustle to yourself. Don't really share what you know until it's out there.
I actually completely agree with the third one. And I know it's almost hard to describe kind of keeping your hustle to yourself. And it's something that I definitely experienced myself launching 2 businesses. And I think it would be hard to express this to people that maybe have never done it before, but there's a lot of value in kind of keeping your head down, doing the work, grinding it out, working at your pace, not the expected pace of your audience. Don't seek the validation necessarily, because you kind of know in your heart that you're serving yourself and you're serving your market. And for me, this is funny. So I always feel like I'm going to jinx it. And maybe that's crazy, but I get it in my head that like, oh, if I talk about this, maybe I'm putting it out into the universe too early and I'm going to fail. So like I have to keep it to myself. So like it's like a good luck charm, almost like keeping it to myself.
I feel that way sometimes. I really have learned the lesson to just keep my crazy ideas, the like spur of the moment ideas to myself. And then once there's a product or there's a service and I have it, it's tangible or it's in the works, then I'm kind of like, here's what I'm working on, or what do you think about this, once it's already in the works. But I totally get putting things out into the universe and it being out there and it flipping around in the universe and coming back at you in ways you might want it or not want it. So, and
I think it's so funny too, talk about like these spur of the moment ideas, or like sometimes when things aren't fully formed, so we don't know how it's going to play out, and it can be really disappointing to start sharing things that are just not fully formed yet. And I think what might be interesting to people as a consumer audience is a lot of times that means you're not seeing our internal struggles. You're not seeing our internal failures as entrepreneurs, and you're not seeing the grind as much for that reason. I mean, we have a reason that we're not always sharing and being as open with that process. So I want to take the opportunity and talk about that a little bit. So what have you kind of learned about yourself going through the grind and going through that process?
As entrepreneurs, it looks different for everybody. Like for me, I'm still a full-time student taking extra credit hours, and then I have a business, and then I have some other side hustles and other things in the works. So it looks different and people don't see the grind. So then learning about myself through the process, more than anything, I've learned my capability to be an independent entrepreneur, and I just love it. I've always been somebody who's struggled with authority. So for me to have like taken this chance, found success in being an independent entrepreneur, having this Etsy shop and being able to support myself to a point, it has totally shifted my idea for the future of what my future looks like in the best way. It gives me confidence that I can be somebody who grows and learns. The possibilities are seriously endless. And I think that I found a lot of power in that, and I found a lot of hope and like excitement in that through this process, that whatever I really, really am passionate about and really hope to do, I can just do it and see if it works. And sometimes there's setbacks and sometimes there's failures, that you have that possibility to do it.
Such a cool thing to hear about your journey and your own self-development through the process. And I want to share with everybody actually how I came to find you. For one of my businesses, I have a business partner, Erin Palm, and I am obsessed with smoothies and protein shakes. And I was at a local shop here in Tampa, Florida, and I posted a picture of their wall kit on my Instagram, and Erin messaged me immediately and was like, that's Lauren Lindley. I know her. Please tag her in these photos. Now, obviously, I have my awesome wall kit, and it's something that I love having in the space. So I really wanted to give an opportunity for people to also have a little bit of your art and have a beautiful space of their own. So I actually have a wall kit here, another custom wall kit that Lauren designed specifically for this audience. In November, from November 15th to the 21st, we're going to go ahead and run a giveaway. So if you are a subscriber of my channel, make sure you're following, and you will automatically be entered to win the wall kit. So that week, we'll go ahead and run the promotion on the Instagram page. So make sure that you check out my Instagram. It's Ryan I. Hannah on Instagram, and also check out the subscribe button on this channel, and you will be entered to win, again, this awesome wall kit. And what I love about what you did here, so this is for my wall kit. When you open it up, you have this cool info sheet, and then in addition, the back of it is just another photo for you to add. So now that we've filmed, I can actually add it to my wall kit and add my last picture up there. I'm so excited.
Okay. I'm so glad you love your wall kit. I'm so excited to do a giveaway with your followers as well. It's important that entrepreneurs help each other out. I found so much community and success through this. So I'm so excited that we get to collaborate a little bit, and love that you saw the wall kit in Tampa. I mean, at that store, it's just so random, and it worked out so well.
Gotta love how the universe just brings people together. So this was such a fun talk. I'm so glad that you were able to join.